We are at the Moray Field Leisure Centre, Moray Field just north of Brisbane, for the 2013 Tropicarnage Cup, Queensland's biggest tournament and the toughest regional competition in the country. We're up to Game 3. We have the Bay Rollers from Byron Bay in the red going up against Gladstone from Gladstone in the black. My name is Honest Dave. I'm here with Joey Scar, and we're going to be bringing this game to you live on the Derby News Network. They're just finishing up the safety checks, and we're going to get this game underway. So this is the third ever Tropicarnage Cup. Started off in 2011. First tournament was at the Beanley Arena, but it's since moved over here to Moray Field. It's starting to get a bit hot up here in the commentary box too. We're up high. There's not a lot of insulation up in the ceiling, and heading into a Queensland summer, it is starting to get stinking hot around here. I've cranked up the fans. All the locals are starting to arrive. You find with the Tropicarnage, it starts off slow at 9 o'clock Saturday morning, and throughout the course of the weekend, the tension builds and builds as the teams get knocked out or move on. The games get tighter, harder, until the epic grand final at 3 o'clock on Monday. Don't forget too that when we're talking about times, it's Queensland time. We do not have daylight saving, so keep that in mind if you're watching it in other parts of the country. Stepping up to the jammer line, we have one of the most famous Gladstone players, Duncan Manutz. They tell us to keep our commentary clean, but it's pretty damn hard when you got names like Duncan Manutz out there.
And she's going up against Nikki Nitro from the Bay Rollers.
That's right, Nikki Nitro used to skate for Gold Coast, but over the last 12 or so months she's been skating with the Bay Rollers, and you can see why they're happy to have her. There we go. She has claimed lead jammer in the first jam of the match. So Manutz struggling to get through that defensive wall there at the front, and while they're busy holding her at bay, Nikki Nitro claims 5-point grand slam. Opening the game, guns are blazing. Some good defense there by the Bay Rollers, and while they work on holding Manutz against the outside line, Nikki Nitro gets another 5 points. That's her name.
Don't blame the commentators.
That's right. Slamby Dexterous, I know you've told me to keep it clean, but come on, what am I supposed to do here? Nikki Nitro back in for another scoring run. Voodoo Vixen, the last defender. But Nikki Nitro gets another 5. This is a 15-point jam so far for Nikki Nitro and the Bay Rollers. While Manutz just being bounced back and forwards between a wall of red defenders.
Nikki Nitro is doing beautiful skating out there. She's really getting through that pack very easy.
Well, Manutz has broken out of the front of the pack. Not my nuts have broken out the front of the back. And Nikki Nitro, did she get her 4 points? Let's wait for the ref to signal. She got 2 points in that last jam, and look at that scoreboard. That is a 20. I think they're going to update it shortly. A 22-point jam there for the Bay Rollers.
Her teammates have got to be happy with that first time out.
Absolutely. Nikki Nitro was a key member of Gold Coast up to 2012, and no doubt her skills and her experience are going a long way to improving the skills of the Bay Rollers. Pinky Bruista stepping up to the crease for Bay, and Slaughter Swift jamming for Gladstone. I think I got that name right. Oh, sorry. Slayer Swift. My mistake. So Slayer, the fast-moving pack.
I do believe the Bay Rollers are pretty new on the scene of things.
Yeah, they are indeed. They're probably one of the newer. They've been around for a couple of years, but they're definitely one of the newer leagues in the area. And Pinky Bruista calls off the jam before any points are scored. That's a maiden jam right there. You used to live down in Byron, didn't you, Joey? Or are you still down there?
I'm still down there at the moment. Very nice.
Hope you should look to sign up with the Bay Rollers, eh? Have you spoken to them?
Oh, no, I've gone out to see a few of their bouts, but I haven't actually spoken to much of the girls, so they're definitely good to watch. They've got a nice setup out there.
Well, hopefully after hearing your expert commentary this match, they'll sign you up to be their official announcer.
Fingers crossed.
I think that's Slingshot Polkadot. I'm not taking any notice of the game. What am I doing? Oh, hang on. Bay Rollers Jam on away to the sin bin for a track cut. And that's right, that was Slingshot Polkadot. So Gladstone and Highland Fling now command this power jam. Initial pass is complete. Now it's time for Gladstone to score some points and get into this game.
Let's see if the Bay Rollers are going to let it through or put up a hard fight.
Freeky was the last defender at the front, but Highland Fling completes a first scoring run and gets 5 points up on the board. Of course, you also get a point for all the other skaters in the sin bin as well. Freeky Peeky again gives her a nice shoulder hit. Highland Fling recovers, and there's another 5 points.
Nikki Nitro now going to the bin.
Oh, hang on, no. She overshot the bin. She's going to have to do another lap before she can sit down. There's another 5 points. Looks like Gladstone.
They're keen to make them back.
Only 7 points in it now. And Highland Fling, oh, look at that. Takes it outside, throws the dummy. There's another 5. Looks like Highland Fling, next scoring run, will put Gladstone into the lead.
The Bay Rollers Jammer joins the track again.
And there we go. Highland Fling, 25 points. Gladstone in the lead, calls off to jam. Absolutely beautiful work.
Get out in front and call it off. Don't want Nikki Nitro on your heels, that's for sure.
No, you don't. It looks like it's going to be a tight match here, Joey. 3 points the difference, 25 minutes left in the first half. The Bay Rollers in the red from Byron Bay and Gladstone in the black. Slayer Swift stepping up to the crease in the black for Gladstone, and Tank U, number T34, jamming for Bay.
Gladstone do take their training pretty serious. I've seen some of their stuff when they were at another tournament. They did take it very serious. The coach was very strict, and it paid off in the end.
It's I know it is difficult for the more remote leagues, Gladstone being one of them. It's a good 6-hour drive north from here. It's hard to get some competition. It's one of the reasons why I always consider Brisbane to be the capital of roller derby in Australia. I am a bit biased considering I'm from Brisbane.
No.
But damn, the teams in the local area here. We have 2 of the 3 top teams in the country from Brisbane. And there are so many leagues, so many games on, and that constant competition really keeps the skaters from this area at the top of their game.
Nearly one every few weeks, isn't there?
Yeah, pretty much. It's rare that there's a Saturday night without a derby match on somewhere in the southeast Queensland area.
It's good for all the derby fans.
Absolutely. This is Raven Derange jamming for the Bay Rollers, and Duncan Manutz jamming for Gladstone. Manutz on the outside has to work her way past the Jodestar. Slingshot Polkadot tries to shut her down too, but Manutz through the pack. So Raven Derange heading in for a scoring run, takes it the inside and is blocked down hard there by a Gladstone blocker. That was KK Ruff N Stuff. Nice hit there on the inside line.
Some of the girls were talking about the wooden floor, and they were worried that it might be a little bit too slippery. Some of them, a lot of them train on cement, so some were very worried and really picking their wheels, what rubber to use. But apparently, it's not as bad as what they expected. I've heard a few girls say that it's actually quite sticky.
I know that last night when they were setting up the track, a lot of the girls was coming in and trying out different wheels on the track. It's a bit more forgiving when you slide along a sprung wood floor rather than the concrete. I'm not sure what's Gladstone. Do you know if Gladstone are trained on a concrete floor? Have you been up to Gladstone to see a game, Joe?
I have not. I've seen them bout a few times, but I haven't seen one of their home bouts. But I do believe it is a wooden cement floor.
Yeah. From
what I've heard. So it's a very new experience for them, probably.
So the Bay Rollers claimed another 5 points there. Slayer Swift trapped at the back. And BB Sting racking up point after point. think while we were sitting here rabbiting on, we might have missed a star pass or some such. So sorry about that, folks at home. I've been so caught up. I missed out on what happened in that last minute. BB Sting, though, certainly smashing it out there. And that score is now 37 to Bay and 25 to Gladstone.
The Bays bring out Nikki Nitro again.
No doubt she'll be aching to smash it out there on the track this jam. And Highland Fling, who had an absolute killer of a jam last time she was out there. Let's see if we can get a repeat performance. She's swarmed by the Bay Rollers defence. She's struggling to find an opening there, and boom, Nikki Nitro.
With a hop, a step and a jump, she's through.
And Highland Fling running afoul of Leggy Bomb there. Hang on. Nikki Nitro threw the dummy and tripped a little bit, but she recovered. But she's lost her Jammer Star, so she cannot score points. Does she even know that she's lost her star? I don't even know if the refs noticed. She cannot score points while she doesn't have the Jammer Star on her helmet.
Her teammates don't seem to be noticing either. No one seems to...
Hang on, is the ref going to award the points? It looks like Arsenal has spotted it. So she should not be awarded the points for that last scoring pass.
She doesn't look very happy down there.
So the refs are just going to just discuss that number cruncher in serious discussion. So Nitro's Jammer ref is now having a quick discussion. So it looks like there will be no points awarded for that last scoring pass.
Pinky Bruista is going to have to make up for that. We'll try, hopefully.
Not often you see that, actually. I saw it land on the ground. I didn't quite see how it happened. I think it just popped off her helmet. I don't think it was the result of a block or anything like that.
Just might not been strapped in properly. Elastic might be a bit loose.
The Gladstone players taking this opportunity just to take a few deep breaths, relax, focus.
Bit of discussion going on there for the Bay Rollers.
A lot of heated discussion there by the refs as well.
I think they're going to have their job cut out for them this weekend.
They sure are. They're the hardest working people in the entire tournament, even harder working than the actual skaters themselves. You'll often find the refs are just refereeing every second game for 3 days. It's hard work. I complain about just having to sit here and announce. Thanks to the guys for putting in messages there. We'll make sure we keep having a check-in on there. We can see whoop, whoop, go Gladstone. Gladstone train on wooden floor. Oh, Gladstone train. That must have been typed on someone's phone by the looks of it. Gladstone train on a wooden floor. So, thanks for letting us know. That's awesome. So there you go. We were thinking there might have been concrete, but so they'll be quite used to this kind of a track. I normally announce for the Sun State Roller Girls, and they tend to train on a skate rink, but their games are on a floor similar to this. So yeah, the refs are deep in discussion now.
Might have to go up and see a Gladstone bout, a home bout, and check out their floor.
I would love to do that. I've been asked to come up and watch, but it's a 6-hour drive, and I just don't think I can do it. Harry Spotter is on his way up to the commentary box. It's great to have Harry Spotter here, up from Melbourne. Probably the most accoladed ref and official in the entire country. And he's going to let us know what's happening. Hang on, just let me have a listen.
A discussion about the pandy incident.
So, to keep things simple, not only did Nikki Nitro not score points for the last scoring pass, she's going to have, to the best of my understanding, points deducted from the previous pass as well that she should not have been awarded.
Pinky Bruista might have to make up for that with her jam.
Well, it looks like she's doing it. Pinky Bruista busts out of the pack and quickly calls off the jam. So we've got Gladstone in the black on 25 points. The Bay Rollers on 43. And 16 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first half. Don't worry too much, Gladstone supporters. There is still plenty of game left. Slayer Swift stepping up to the crease in the black for Gladstone. BB Sting in the red, jamming for the Bay Rollers. Pack press hard up against the jammer line. It's a 3-2 pack advantage to Bay. Let's see if BB Sting can capitalise on that. KK Ruff N Stuff doing some good defence there.
Gladstone sounds like it's got to be cheering in the crowd there. Some of the Reef City Roller Girls, they've came up each other a few times, so bit of support.
Yeah, of course, in the north of Queensland there's the Northern Tropical Thunder tournament. I'll have to go and get up there and check that out one of these years as well. I hear it's a brilliant tournament to be a part of.
It was worth seeing, especially this year. Very close.
They have teams from all over North Queensland. Also Darwin flies over as well.
For Darwin, they're isolated. Their only closest team is Alice Springs, which is Malice Springs.
And that's their closest league, which is like a 2-day drive away. They have Catherine nearby as well. Catherine's a very small league, and the two leagues often work together. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, very hard for the more remote towns in Australia to find teams to play against. It's very expensive to travel back and forwards. Whereas the teams in the major cities, although they have their own unique problems, like the cost of venues is very expensive in the cities, it does mean constant competition, which means the teams, it's much easier for them to hone their skills.
I was talking to Darwin, and they've actually got enough to have 2 home teams, so they were really excited about that. They wanted me to come up and see the bout, but I missed it. But I promised them I'll be up next time, so I'm really happy for those girls. They deserve it.
Darwin's going to be hosting May next year, the Out Games, which is like a miniature Olympic Games for the gay and lesbian community. It's I think it's the third time it's been put together, and it's going to be in Darwin May next year. And roller derby, for the first time ever, is going to be a part of it.
It's great to see it come in there. I do believe you're going up there.
Oh, I wouldn't miss it, Joey.
That's the way.
Maybe we can have you come up as well, eh?
I would enjoy that.
I try and make sure wherever there's a derby match going on, I'm not far away. You can hear our 2 in-house announcers, Raspberry Bullet and Johnny Smash, trying to get the crowd to cheer for the refs. It's always a tough job. Maybe if they got them to boo the refs, might make it a bit easier.
Poor refs. Sometimes they don't make a few friends with their decisions.
Like I said, the hardest working team in the whole place.
Yes, I wouldn't want to be in their skates this weekend.
I think you might see a bit of abuse in the heat of the game, but I don't think there's too many people here that don't acknowledge the amazing effort, work those guys put in.
Also the NSOs, the game couldn't be without them.
And I noticed on the NSO list as well, there are actually so many NSOs here working, some from leagues that aren't even taking part in the competition. So we are very grateful to all you guys for coming and helping us out.
We've always got love for the NSOs.
So just reading through the notes here, go Gladstone. Such respect for the ref teams, they have such a hard job. You're damn straight there. Go KK Smashy, loves you. I'm trying to read this stuff that's been typed to people's phones. Oh, there's a Cherry Popper Jammer ref. Well, he's having his work cut out for him today. And, okay, Smack Sabbath 911. Yes, this will be available to view later. GNN always archives all their matches. So I think it takes a few weeks before they get to it, but all of these games will be archived on the Derby News Network website. Thank you so much to DNN for all their support. We're back at it, Derby fans. Gladstone 25, the Bay Rollers 43. Nikki Nitro is our lead jammer for Bay.
She's going to be looking to get those points back.
She'll be hitting that pack very soon. Highland Fling's completed her initial run, and Nikki Nitro on the guts of that pack now. Blackout Menace, Voodoo Vixen, working nicely together to hold her at bay. You can see Castrator, number 86, not engaging the jammer but holding that inside line in case she tried to throw the dummy and head down the blind side. Pinky Bruista stepping up to the crease for Bay, and Duncan Manutz stepping up to the crease for Gladstone. 3-3 pack out there.
If memory serves me correct, Black Smack Sabbath was actually at NTT. I believe she's actually bouting, if my memory serves me right.
Thanks for all the guys putting in messages. If there's anything you want to ask us, we'll try and make sure we keep checking that and answer your questions for you. There we go. Boom. Gladstone claimed lead jammer.
You're welcome, Smack Sabbath.
Oh, hang on, but Pinky Bruista has got lead, so just as Manutz was about to hit the back of the pack, Pinky Bruista wisely called the jam defensively. That is a maiden jam there, 0 points apiece.
Now, if you go and stand next to Leggy Bomb out of the Bay Rollers, you can understand where she gets her name from. She's one tall girl. But man, can she skate.
22 points the difference. 16 minutes, 45 seconds left in first half. Slayer Swift jamming for Gladstone and Slingshot Polkadot for Bay. 3-2 pack advantage to Gladstone. Bay Rollers working offense, trying to open up some gaps, but Polkadot unable to capitalise, but she picks up the pace and she's lead jammer. Zerky tries to ride her down but doesn't quite have the speed. And yes, Geek is out there. Thanks again for riding in. Geek does have a very odd looking fez. I think he just wears it just so that we know that he's in charge of the NSOs. You can pick him out of the crowd.
One of the teams that aren't here this year that is, I'm sure, will be missed at Townsville. It's a shame to not see these girls down here. I know they're watching, so we miss you guys.
Yes, I was gutted to hear that too. They had a great tournament last year, and we probably shouldn't go on too much about it because I know that they're crying into their drinks right now about not being here. But hopefully next year for 2014, Townsville?
We send our love.
Slingshot Polkadot, bust out of that pack, calls off the jam. Bay Rollers starting to take this game. Actually, I believe those points up there on the board for Gladstone were pretty much all scored in either 1 or 2 jams by Highland Fling. So Gladstone are going to have to work on that and get a bit of consistency.
Raven Derange coming out jamming for the Bay Rollers.
And our Gladstone jammer is in the sin bin. Can't score any points from there.
I'm sure Raven's going to try and get a few points on the board while she can.
And there we go. That's the way to start. Claiming lead jammer. The pack is at a standstill. So Raven Derange has to just use brute strength. Looks like her teammates are just hanging back. So Raven Derange is going it alone. Teddie doing some nice defense there on the outside line. Blackout Menace. KK Ruff N Stuff. And Kittie Miaow, our 4 Gladstone defenders.
Raven Derange coming up against the Hustler girl.
So Slayer gets out of the sin bin. Completes her initial pass, but the jam is called before she can score any points. So Gladstone will be starting off with a jammer this time. BB Sting jamming for Bay. And Manutz jamming for Gladstone.
We shortened that, have we? McNutt.
I know there's a lot of fans of Manutz out here in the crowd tonight. It's this afternoon. I know that Johnny Smash really loves Manutz. Just go and ask him. BB Sting stuck at the back of the pack. Manutz trying to find an opening. She's ducking and weaving. Takes to the outside.
She's getting a bit of support from the crowd there.
Everyone loves Duncan Manutz. BB Sting completes her initial pass. Nice work by Manutz. Sneaks 2 points up there on the board and calls off the jam. And Gladstone close that gap. Okay, Highland Fling. She needs to recover the mojo that she had earlier in this game with that massive jam that she pulled off. She's going up against the skills and experience of Nikki Nitro, however, so let's see how it goes. We've got a clean sin bin. It is 5-on-5, little under 13 minutes left in the first half. So, Nitro can't find an opening, but then again, Highland Fling having a similar problem at the front, but Highland Fling is our lead jammer. It's definitely what Gladstone need right now. They need to start up in their game, and they need to do it right now. Oh, hang on. Nitro on her way to the sin bin for a track cut, and Highland Fling is in the driver's seat of a power jam.
I do believe Nikki Nitro should have yielded when she didn't, and for that reason, she got a...
And look, hang on, we've got Pinky Bruista heading the bin too. So we've got 3 Gladstone players in the sin bin, and Highland Fling is just racking up the points. There's now a 37-point difference, but Highland Fling doing her utmost to reduce that. Shut down by the Jodestar and Slingshot Polkadot. Looked like there was an out-of-play major by Slingshot Polkadot. Oh, Highland Fling on the way to the bin too. There's no room for Slingshot Polkadot.
She looks a bit happy about that. Bit of a fist pump there.
And Nikki Nitro is returning to the track. Pack at a standstill, a 3-wall there. Oh, nice hit by Teddie. Oh, that was some classy Gladstone defense. Zerky shuts Nikki Nitro down. Oh, Nitro gets a track cut. Now, this is where the skills of the penalty timers really come into play.
Yes, it looks very interesting down there.
It is a very busy sin bin. So I think we've got probably about 10 seconds left where there'll be no jammer out there, because there's been so much traffic between the jammers in the sin bin. They're doing the right thing. It may seem a bit odd not having a jammer out there. And the jam times out after 2 minutes. This next jam may actually start without a jammer on the jammer line.
I don't believe we've seen one of those so far, have we?
It's very rare to see it. We certainly haven't seen it in the tournament yet. But yeah, it's a very rare occasion. But as usually happens in this situation, there's going to be it's actually an official a team timeout by the Bay Rollers. So it looks like Number Cruncher is just explaining her decision to the Gladstone captain there, Kittie Miaow. The Gladstone alternate, Kittie Miaow. So yeah, this Tropicarnage Cup 2013 is a 3-day long tournament from 9 o'clock till 9 o'clock today, 9 o'clock till 9 o'clock tomorrow, and from we're not sure exactly what the timing will be for Monday, but probably 9 till 5 on Monday. If you can't sit here all weekend and watch Derby online, and I mean, what better have you got to do? I can't imagine what that'd be. But if you can't sit here all weekend and watch it, make sure you do not miss the grand final. I promise you that will be one of the best games of Derby you will ever see. 3 o'clock Queensland time on Monday. If you've got kids, slip some brandy into their milk so they sleep for the time. If you've got a job, quit it. Do whatever you need to do to get in front of the internet. 3 o'clock on Monday. There we go. Jam starting without a jammer, but it won't be long before Highland Fling is back out there on the track.
Yes, I know it's one of my guilty pleasures, bringing it up on the big screen TV, laying in bed and watching some good Derby.
Oh yeah, and you won't see better in this entire country than the Tropicarnage Cup Grand Final. I promise you that. Highland Fling now back out on the track. Oh, nice work. That was perfect. Tank U and Raven Derange working beautifully together to shut down Highland Fling's momentum. And again, Tank U and Raven Derange. Absolutely beautiful defense by the two of them. But Highland Fling has recovered, completed her initial run. She hits the pack again. Oh no, looks like Highland Fling copped a back block. Oh. Nice work by Tank U there, forcing a penalty. It was a tough call, it looked close. You're allowed to block, you can't block someone up the spine, but you can block someone from the bra strap outwards. And it was close.
Nikki Nitro coming in to jam again. Finding a way through, very easy.
Straight down the inside line. Oh, look at that, the pack moving backwards. Nikki Nitro's got to be happy about that. Blackout Menace and Zerky are 2 defenders, but Nikki Nitro slips through for 5 points. A lot of hustle there in the pack as all the blockers are returning from the bin. Nitro thought she'd found a line, but Ruff N Stuff shuts her down. Blackout Menace dishes out a hit. It's 5-point pass by Nikki Nitro. So, of course, during a power jam, the driving team tries to keep the pack moving very slowly so that their jammer can catch up to it a lot more easily, and that's working well for them. Nikki Nitro, though, can't get through that Gladstone defense. She was going it alone.
And Nikki Nitro has good speed on her. It doesn't take her long to get around the track when it's cleared for her.
No, that's right. That's what she's got, agility and she's got speed.
BB Sting coming out to jam for the Bay Rollers.
But we've got a timeout first. Gladstone just called.
Bit of discussion going on.
So, yeah, we have teams from as far south as Byron Bay and Lismore, and as far north as Cairns, and as far west as Ipswich. So it's, people have come from a long way. This is a very prestigious tournament, and people have come a long way to become a part of it.
Especially the refs and SOs have also travelled from those teams to come here to participate.
But like I was saying before, some people have come here that even are not part of participating teams, like Reva, for example. He's not out there at the moment, but he's a ref from Darwin, and Darwin's not participating in this tournament, but Reva is a massive Derby fan, and he's come here regardless. Because there's only one way you get, whatever your job is within Derby, there's only one way to get better at it, and that is to attend as many games as you possibly can, especially when you've got the experience of Harry Spotter, Number Cruncher, Kruger. These people are very experienced, and it's great to learn all you can from them. So Gladstone have claimed lead jammer, Slayer Swift, and BB Sting, our Bay Rollers jammer, on the way to the bin for a track cut. There we go. Slayer Swift goes it alone and puts 5 points up there for Gladstone. So 42 points the difference, little under 8 minutes left in the first half. Slayer Swift, I think she was careful then. She was worried about getting a back block. The Jodestar really harassing her as she's trying to get through. But Swift gets another 5 points up there. Like, you want to hit the pack hard. You want to hit the defensive line hard, but you don't want to get a back block.
No.
So you got to try and hit it on an angle so you slam into the side of the defender's bodies.
I know a lot of girls were studying the rules, very careful, just to see what they can and can't do, what they can get away with. I know, I was reading.
And that's another challenge. It's you may find if Slayer Swift had to work hard, but there's another 5 points up there. But yeah, you may find that if your refs are being too lenient, if you're in an isolated town and your refs are being a bit lenient with you, you find when you hit one of these tournaments that you're getting called a lot more for what you may have been allowed to get away with back home. So it's a real steep learning curve hitting these tournaments. The better your refs, the better your team. You'll find that the best teams in the country also have the best refs, because you have to learn to play, but you have to learn to play within the confines of the rules as well. And if your refs are letting you get away with stuff, then they're not doing you any favours when you come to hit a tournament like this. Duncan Manutz jamming unopposed for Gladstone.
You're no use to the team if you're in the bin all the time.
No, that's right, especially if you're the jammer. BB Sting, bit of BB Sting smashing into Manutz. But Manutz recovers, hits the pack. Oh, shut down on the outside line. She managed to sneak a few points up there for Gladstone, I believe. Little under 6 minutes left in the first half. 55 points to Gladstone, 87 to the Bay Rollers. Gladstone last few jams have been really closing that gap. Only 32 points the difference. And there's plenty of time left in this in this match.
Yes, I think second half will be very interesting.
Pinky Bruista and Highland Fling going head-to-head. There's 4 blockers in the sin bin, so the pack is a bit thin. Oh, well, we got a low block there for a Gladstone blocker. Both jammers are through, Highland Fling and Pinky Bruista. So Pinky Bruista can call off the jam at any time. She's choosing to back herself. Beautiful work.
Just in time.
I think she managed to get 4 points as opposed to Highland Fling's 2. Classy work there by Pinky Bruista. Yeah. She had the option then. Do I just call the jam off and leave it 0-0, or do I go or do I make a stab at the points?
I think seeing Voodoo Vixen coming after you makes you think twice.
But Pinky Bruista made the right decision there. 4 points to her and 2 points to Gladstone. Slayer Swift stepping up to the crease, and Leggy Bomb jamming for Bay. So Leggy Bomb kind of hung back a little bit, waited for an opening to present itself, claimed it, lead jammer.
Now will we find out why she's called Leggy Bomb?
She is incredibly tall, isn't she?
But her coordination is beautiful. She really can work with those legs.
Oh, you can hear the 2 house announcers discussing Leggy Bomb's legs as well.
The famous legs of Derby.
Well, she's obviously pretty proud of them, given that she's called herself Leggy Bomb. Number N7, Nikki Nitro, back on the line again.
If I had legs that could move like that, I'd be proud of them.
Gee, my legs struggle even to hold up my own weight, standing waiting for a bus.
Nikki Nitro back out.
But we've had an official timeout called. So it looks like Number Cruncher. Just it looks like they're just fixing up the penalty tracking there. And we're going to get back into it. Look at the thin pack there. Most of the players are actually in the sin bin. Teddie is our only Gladstone defender.
But if you're going to have someone defending, you want her.
Well, let's see the truth of that. Now, Nikki Nitro. Oh, hang on. Nikki Nitro joins the defensive wall. Takes to the inside. Oh, that was some beautiful work. Shut down Duncan Manutz. As soon as Manutz was down, Nitro claims lead jammer. So Manutz is through the pack now. It just comes naturally now. I don't even realise it sounds funny. Nikki Nitro. Oh, there we KK Ruff N Stuff. Blackout Menace working together classily to hold Nikki Nitro at bay, but she completes the pass. Was she quick enough? 4 points to her and 2 to Duncan Manutz. Oh, hang on. 4 to Duncan Manutz. That was 4 points apiece right there. A little over.
And Tank U coming out to jam for the Bay Rollers.
And Slayer Swift jamming for Gladstone.
All right, so T34 Tank U.
And again, a very thin-looking pack there. Tank U, without too much trouble at all, claims lead jammer. But our Gladstone jammer, Slayer Swift, bearing down on her. And Tank U decides, rather than to flog a dead horse, to call off the jam. So again, that was the option Pinky Bruista had earlier. She could have chosen to call off the jam as well, but she decided to back herself and her team. That's the choice. When the jammer is in that situation, that's the choice you got to make. Raven, derange.
Got to have belief in yourself without being overconfident.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you've got to. It's got to be. You can't just blindly trust yourself. Anyway, it's a tough decision. You've got to make it in a split second as well.
I'm happy I'm not making it.
No, we just get to slag off of them if they make the wrong decision.
I think we have the easiest job here.
So Manutz must have copped a no pass, no penalty on the way through the pack, and she is not lead jammer. Raven derange, calls off the jam, but not quite quick enough, and Manutz managed to sneak a point onto the board. A minute and a half left in the first half. 63 points to Gladstone, and 99 to the Bay Rolls, very close to cracking that ton. Slayer Swift, number 89, jamming for Gladstone. And Nikki Nitro back out there jamming for the Bay Rollers.
Number 89, Slayer Swift.
We have a 4-3 pack advantage to Gladstone. See if Slayer Swift can capitalise on that. Both slamming into those scrum. Oh, Tank U, nice hit. Oh,
I bet you that hurt.
it looked agonising. Nitro's now got the advantage. Last two Gladstone blockers to fight her way through. And Nikki Nitro is our lead jammer.
And breaks a century too.
They do too. We're about to see 3 digits up there on the Bay Rollers score tally. Oh, hang on. Nitro copped a track cut. She was trying to do an apex jump. Didn't quite pull it off. Wheel slipped out of bounds. And now we have a power jam with Slayer Swift in the driver's seat. Freeky Peeky, Pinky Bruista, and Tank U, our 3 Bay Rollers defenders. And there's 5 points up there for Gladstone. So we've got only 8 seconds left in the period clock, but still a minute left in this jam. The halftime doesn't end until the jam ends. And there we go, there's another 5 for Gladstone. Looks like Gladstone are going to go into halftime on a high note, and that's a lot. Thanks to Slayer Swift. She comes around again for another scoring run. So look at that. Nice defense there by the Bay Rollers. Freeky Peeky and Pinky Bruista working together to hold her. She's looking to her team, to her bench, and they're saying, no, love, you keep skating.
I think she might be getting a bit tired though.
But if she calls it now, that's the end of the first half. So you may as well just keep having a crack. There's another 5, call it.
No, they're telling her not to call it. They want as many points as possible before half time.
So I'm not sure. This must be Nikki Nitro's initial pass, is it? No, it's not. That's a scoring run.
So now she breaks a century.
That was a beautiful jam there by Gladstone. Look at that scoreboard. There's been times when Gladstone has been really lagging behind on the points, but that last power jam, just what they needed. 21 points. The difference as we go into half-time. But I think, it's also that morale boost as well. It's not only the score, but it's that morale boost. Just as you go into half-time on a high note, they'll be positive when they go into the second half.
I think it's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be a tight match, that's for sure.
I wouldn't leave my computer if I was you.
That's right, not for the next 3 days. So we've got actually we're doing our very best to get you halftime interviews every halftime. So we're actually going to have a chat to some of our highly esteemed photographers. Wherever there's a game of derby, there's an army of photographers descend on the place. And 2 of those particularly notable ones. We've got Beck and Carmen, and I think we're going to get Rod, and Rod's on his way as well. And the lovely Raspberry Bullet, I think, is going to be interviewing them. Oh, you can see me on the camera now, can't you? Jeez. So hopefully Video Bob has put us on low resolution, as he knows to do whenever I'm on camera.
Look at that face.
It's
soft
beautiful,
as a baby's bottom.
Ain't that sweet?
Can the camera pick up all that red?
Oh, so Rod, of course, he's here for an interview, but he can't resist getting a photo as well. So, Rod, do you want to come over here? We're going to get Raspberry to do the interview because she's much better at it than me. Rod, get over here. And Raspberry, get over here. So, of course, we have Rod here, who's been taking photos of Derby for as long as I can remember. We have Beck and Carmen as well that pretty much will be doing the same. And, of course, Raspberry Bullet. Get over here, Raspberry. And I'll stop messing up your screens.
Thanks. I didn't know I was doing this interview. So, this will be fun. So we have some familiar faces here. Anyone that comes to roller derby in Queensland, and hey, let's go North Queensland, let's go south of the border. Anyone that's been to a roller derby game in the last couple of years will have seen one of these three faces. Actually, no, you may not have seen one of these faces because they usually have a camera covering up their face. So I'm taking their mask, yes, that's the word. I'm taking their masks away from them, and enough about me. So let's just get a reminder. Who have we got?
Princess Chaos, also back.
Carmen J, or Spellbinder.
And Rod Noondang, roller derby photos.
Thank you. Thanks for coming along. So obviously you're here because you like taking roller derby photos. So how did that come about? How did you find out about roller derby?
I started skating with Sunstate back in 2009, and then she wanted a camera, so I had to take photos as well. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's our rogue flamingo. He made an appearance at the last interview.
Nice. Well, I knew about it when she introduced me to it, and after being injured, I was kind of needing something to do while sitting on the sidelines, so picking up a camera seemed like the obvious thing.
So you're obviously both roller derby players?
More. Not anymore for me.
No, I broke her when I was coaching one day.
Okay, so I'm assuming that you're not a roller derby player, so how did you get into it?
I got asked along one time to come and shoot derby, and I liked it, and I've been shooting ever since. So started with one league, and now I'm shooting whatever comes along, what I can find time for. Yes, that's it.
And so what is it that you guys get out of taking photos of roller derby?
I get to watch the game at the same time. I can tell so much about a player because then I get to play it back later when I'm going through editing, and the girls love it. So
Yeah, definitely. Like having something that is going to be there for the players to be able to look at and go, I remember how I felt when that was taken. So it's, putting it down for people to remember.
I got hooked on roller derby. I just like watching it now. It's starting to understand what's happening out there. Unlike the first bout I shot, I just shooting away and not having a clue what was happening out in the track. Now I've sort of got an idea. I won't proclaim to be an expert, nowhere near it, but I just enjoy the action, the atmosphere, the emotion. There's always a lot of emotion, whether it's a smaller league bout or whether it's a major weekend comp like this or the Great Southern Slam. There's always emotion there, and there's always opportunities. I just like taking photos of action and people, so it all fits together.
Photographers all get along quite well and have our own little world.
Oh, that's good to hear. Good to hear. I hear that some of you have joined forces and started sort of trying to work together and help each other out.
You're all the derby photographers trying to organise us all and to be able to cover events to a certain standard that would make everyone happy.
And so does the roller derby nerd come out in any of you when you've taken a photo and you remember the ref call being a little different to how you might have thought it was? Tell me, do you ever go back and go, ha!
The refs are always right. Never make a wrong call.
Absolutely. The rule is, that's it, the rule is what the refs saw, and if they didn't see it, then it doesn't count.
Does that mean that photo gets deleted?
Necessarily.
It's like watching something in slow-mo. It's nothing like what actually happens in real, you know what I mean? You can't see that far. Some of the action is very fast, so coming back to it on a frozen shot, you don't even recall something that's happened because it was a blur.
Oh, we've got hello. And
Hey everybody, hey Squeaky, hey Carnal, hey Smash Dance and Angie.
Tell Smashy to heal fast.
She should be a skating, damn it.
oh, poor thing. So tell me, are there any favourite photos that you've... It's probably like asking you to pick one of your... Who's your favourite child? But is there a photo where you've... Is there a photo where you've gone... At the time, that's going to be a great photo. And are there photos that you didn't realise at the time was a great photo till you actually went back and had a look?
Quite often. It's always something new when you're actually going through and sorting through your photos and editing and going, oh, I don't remember taking that one, but gee, I did well.
Well, you don't get to see half the shots you take because when you take them, the screen goes blank. So, and you don't get time to flick through all the photos while you're here. But the one that I always will remember and like was, I think it was the Gold Coast Derby. Might have been the last year before, and there was just a huge pile up, and you've got the one skater basically jumping over the lot, and it looks like they're it looks like they're riding a horse, being bucked, and that's probably one of my favourites that I've got.
Fantastic. And do you have any tips for budding roller derby photographers?
Hook up with one of us, and we'll add you to our little group, and you'll learn a lot along the way.
And do you think your equipment is important? Do you think anyone with just a $100 camera could do okay?
Always do a nice photo with a $100 camera, but if you want to catch action, then you've got to adjust what you're doing or what you're using.
So you've got quite a unit there. Do you want to hold it up so that it's in view? So do you want to talk us through what makes this a great roller derby camera?
I think Rod's the expert here.
Fast lens, long lens, getting close to the action. The closest you can get, suicide line. I know we get access to other areas, so we've got the opportunity to get shots from angles. But it's the camera comes up to a point. Because my first camera I shot derby with was nowhere near as fast, but I still got good shots. And it's knowing the game and enjoying the game, because you sort of anticipate where action may occur, so that's what you're capturing, and I think that's probably I think that's the key tip for budding photographers is get to know the game and see where the action's going to possibly be, and it's different for every bout because each team has their own tactics. So one team will have the action at one end. The other one will be the other apex because that's how they play.
Close to the suicide line in the men's bouts is very dangerous. The very first jam, we almost got took out last weekend. So.
And you'll also notice that the photographers will sit around the actual track. We don't all sit together, so that we can all cover different areas. So
tell me, where is the furthest you've travelled to capture a roller derby game?
We've been to Sydney and we've been to Townsville, but we've also shot at Reef City at one of their scrims.
Grace on the Slam? Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, no, I shot the Grace on the Slam in 2010 and 2012. I want to shoot an overseas bout sometime. Yeah.
Together, the World Cup next year is basically the aim at the moment. Yep. So, but yeah, trying to get funds for both of us to get there is.
If someone wants to sponsor me,
yes. We're going to go as a group. It's a group, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So.
Hey, you never know. You never know who's watching out in DNN land. And so, if people want to see your photos, or perhaps even want to buy your photos, where would they go?
CarmenJ.net, and the details are all on there.
Paul goes up on hers, so it'll be there as well when I get it edited.
Roller Derby Photos with an F, FOTOS.com. And just go there, you'll be able to see all the photos, even if you don't want to buy, but they're all up there, and details on buying prints and that as well.
Fabulous. And I believe there is a photographic raffle prize. Who knows details about that?
I think so, yeah. Frame print, yeah, basically a frame print, 10 by 8, fully framed, ready to hang, art quality paper, yeah.
That would be a fabulous prize to win, having such a great photo like that. And I think that about wraps it up. So thank you, photo crew, photo posse, photography posse. So Alice Springs wants a photographer out there to capture their action. So hello, Alice Springs.
We're available for hire. Yes. We'll gladly go anywhere. Yeah, some of us do.
Fill the car with diesel for us. We'll be there. We might need to find babysitters, but yeah, we'll be there.
Make it happen. Well, thank you so much for taking time out. I hope our listeners and viewers enjoyed getting to know you guys a bit better, because I'm sure they would have seen some of your photos, so now they've gotten to know the people behind them. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Raspberry. Thanks a lot for coming in, all photographers. Those photographers are so good that they actually sometimes even manage to take a good photo of me. And that's no mean feat. But that was some great timing there. Gee, Raspberry's a legend. She had no preparation or anything for there. We just said, Raspberry, you're doing it. But we are about to get the second half underway. They're lining up for safety check. So myself, Honest Dave, and Joey Scar are going to get back into the game. Just give me a moment while I get myself set up, and we will be bringing you the second half of this Gladstone versus the Bay Rollers here at Tropicarnage 2013. So yes, for those that have just tuned in, Gladstone in the black are on 82 points. The Bay Rollers in the red on 103. Now I think the Bay Rollers have been playing a more consistent game, but it's just been occasional trips to the sin bin and power jams handed over to Gladstone that have managed to keep Gladstone in the game. There have been maybe 2 or 3 massive power jams that Gladstone has claimed to keep their scores within 21 points. If the Bay Rollers can play a bit more clean in the second half, I'm confident they'll be able to hang on to their lead. But we're about to start the second half. Pinky Bruista stepping up to the crease for the Bay Rollers, and Slayer Swift in the black for Gladstone. 4-2 pack advantage to Gladstone. Slayer taken to the outside, but that's the long way round. Pinky Bruista looks like the first one through the pack. KK Ruff N Stuff tries to shut her down, but Pinky is through. Slayer Swift completes her initial pass. It's a bit of argy-bargy going on. Voodoo Vixen blocked out of bounds by Slingshot Polkadot. Pinky Bruister's got the pace, but KK Ruff N Stuff shuts it down on the outside, forcing her to call off the jam. Nice little opening jam there to set the scene for the rest of this second half.
Raven Deranged coming out to jam for the Bay Rollers.
Standing alongside Duncan Manutz for Gladstone. The winner of this game will go on to play tomorrow, first thing, the Northern Brisbane Rollers, one of the finest leagues in the country. It's all quality here at Tropicarnage, that's for sure. Looks like a pivot panty has been cast onto the track. None of the refs seem to have noticed it yet, because someone needs to clear that off because it's a bit of a tripping hazard. Bit of action there on turn 3. Manutz stuck in the middle of the pack, finds an opening. BB Sting tries to shut her down with a shoulder block, but Manutz is lead jammer. So our Bay Rollers jammer has been sent to the sin bin amidst the fracas. I was too busy looking at the pivot panty on the track. Yes. So Manutz is jamming unopposed.
I'm surprised no one's picked up on that yet. It could easily trip where it is.
There we go. It's gone. Manutz back in for a scoring run. There is a solid Bay Rollers defensive wall. It's hard to maintain the wall as you're rounding the turns. The Bay Rollers have done a good job. BB Sting holding the front. Manutz's foot slipped out, but she just got it back in before copping a track cut. And Manutz is really closing this gap Comes back round for another scoring run. BB Sting again, the last defender, forced to yield when she's outside of the engagement zone, and Duncan Manutz calls off the jam. Look at that scoreboard, Gladstone fans. Only 7 points the difference.
I think we're in for a great show.
Oh, absolutely beautiful work. But reinforcing my point earlier that Bay Rollers have got to play it clean or they're not going to maintain their lead. Highland Fling jamming for Gladstone. Nikki Nitro jamming for the Bay Rollers. 4-3 pack advantage to Gladstone. Both scoping an opportunity. Tank U and Slingshot Polkadot shutting Highland Fling down. Leggy Bomb holding the inside line. Both jammers forced to the back of the pack. Nitro takes to the outside. Oh, look at that derby stance. Oh, that is beautiful work. Blackout Menace, just some absolutely classy defense. So Nick Rofilia trying to find her way back into the pack again. Nitro's through. Leggy Bomb holding the inside line, but Highland Fling completes a scoring run, 4 points. So she can call it. She's not going to call it.
She wants those points.
She does. Oh, Nikki Nitro shut down by Menace. Highland Fling hits for a scoring run. Leggy Bomb blocks her out of bounds. Highland Fling forced to yield. So Nitro's completed a 4-point pass. Now let's see if Highland Fling can get the 4 points before calling it off. Oh, blocked out of bounds there by Slingshot Polkadot. Oh, hang on, Nitro clears the pack for another 4 points, I believe. Sorry, another 2 points that was. Must have been just 2 before the fourth whistle went off. So there we can see Highland Fling thought she had the minerals to get through the pack and hold Nitro at bay, but Nitro turned the tide. 103 points to Gladstone, 110 points to the Bay Rollers.
Pinky Bruista coming out, jamming for the Bay Rollers.
And Slayer Swift jamming for Gladstone. So Slayer Swift is through the pack, starting to slow down now. You can see the Bay Rollers trying to get the pack moving slowly so that Pinky... Oh, nice hit there by KK Ruff N Stuff. Pinky Bruista recovers beautifully, hits the pack. Oh, there it's... Oh, that was an absolutely beautiful hip check there by Teddie. Just launched her out of bounds.
It's getting very exciting here.
I swear, Carnal Pleasure. Oh, Carnal Pleasure's making us have a swear jar. Excuse me, your name is Carnal Pleasure. I think that's the call him the pedal black, the kettle black. Tank U and Duncan Manutz jamming head to head. As the pack heads down the back stretch.
She's having a problem with her wrist. No.
Shoulder, elbow pad, I think.
She's trying to fix it up as she's skating, but now that's skill right there, but she's not having any success with it.
Oh. That was fearsome. Kittie Miaow.
Tank U calls off the jam so she can fix up that elbow pad.
That was nice. Kittie Miaow just stood right in Tank U's path and really arrested her momentum. Look at that scoreboard, only 10 points in it. Highland Fling back out on the line and BB Sting jamming for the Bay Rollers. Gladstone in the black, Bay Rollers in the red. 22 minutes and 45 seconds are left in this match. Next up we have the Reef City Roller Girls from Cairns going up against Gold Coast. So do not go away. Highland Fling completes her initial pass. She's lead jammer. pack heading into the front stretch. BB Sting fights her way through the pack. Only seconds before Highland Fling enters from the back to try and get her first scoring run. Nice hit there by Pinky Bruista on the inside line. Highland Fling hits the ground and calls off the jam. I've been seeing on the forums too, actually, don't quote me on this, but I believe in Bank Track Derby you can only call off the jam if you're upright and inbounds.
Yes, I have heard that.
And that's quite an interesting rule. Like, for example, then Highland Fling called off the jam while she was lying on her back in the infield. Under the Bank Track rules, you wouldn't be able to do that. So it would add it's a very interesting mechanic to the game.
Is it why you're in the air too? I do believe... Because I have seen some girls try and call it off. Why actually in the air?
I'm pretty sure you can, according to the Flat Track Derby rules, you can do that.
But what about the banked ones?
But I'm not sure.
Yes, that would be interesting.
If anyone out there knows, feel free to comment. I could just be talking complete rubbish. But regardless, it added an interesting mechanic to the game. So we have Slingshot Polkadot and Slayer Swift. And Slingshot Polkadot had Slayer Swift breathing down her neck and called off the jam. Nice work there. And that was a maiden jam. 0 points apiece. Only 7 points of difference. Manutz lining up alongside Pinky Bruista. And we have a 4-2 pack advantage now to Gladstone. So if Duncan Manutz can capitalise on this, the Bay Rollers could be in real trouble. Duncan Manutz. Oh, nice lateral movement. Tries to take it to the inside, but Leggy Bomb shuts it down. Oh, Pinky Bruista on her way to the sin bin. This might be what Gladstone have been wanting. BB Sting tries to block Duncan, but Manutz completes her initial pass. So 7 points of difference. If she can complete this scoring run, that will reduce the points deficit to 2. BB Sting, our only defender, and alone manages to shut Manutz down.
She's working hard though.
Alabasha returns from the sin bin, so she can join in on the defence. So it's only 2 points of difference. Here it is. Duncan Manutz hits for a scoring run. Alabasha, BB Sting, the two defenders. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Gladstone have taken the lead. I can hear the cries in Gladstone from here.
Yes, they sound excited. I don't think the Bay Rollers are too happy about it, though.
Oh, well, it's still anyone's game. There's still plenty of derby left. 19 and a half minutes left in the match. As Manutz fights her way through the front of that pack and claims another 5. Calls off the jam. There we go. Gladstone taken to the lead in another power jam. 113 points to the Bay Rollers, 121 to Gladstone. A little over 19 minutes left in this match. And the Bay Rollers wisely deciding to call a timeout. So like I said earlier, the winner of this match, which could be anyone at this point, will go on to play the Northern Brisbane Rollers tomorrow at 9 o'clock Brisbane time. And we will, of course, be broadcasting that live here on the Derby News Network. Thanks very much to Video Bob for all his hard work in getting this Tropicarnage tournament into your lounge rooms.
It's like we have a few Gladstone supporters out there. Speed Laser.
Some people are even typing in capitals.
Smash Dance. Bit of love for Gladstone out there. I'm sure in the crowd too, it looks like.
Is that Smash Dance? Yeah. Can't Gladstone. I think that's North Queensland talk for come on Gladstone. Sorry you couldn't be here, Smash Dance, but you got the very next best thing. Myself and Joey Scar bringing you the action here on the Derby News Network. Highland Fling stepping up to the crease while we wait for Pinky Bruista to return from the sin bin. No doubt she's feeling a bit down on herself at the moment. She'll be looking to redeem herself. Tank U, beautiful shoulder blocks there on the outside. Bruista.
Nearly takes out a ref too.
That was huge. Kittie Miaow.
There's a bit of claws in that one.
Yes. And Highland Fling was flung to the outside as well. Pinky Bruista is the first one through the pack. That was cruel. Hang on. Fling, she allowed... Oh, she copped a track cut. She's now on her way to the sin bin. So, now's a chance for Pinky Bruista to redeem herself. She's just done that by her first 5 points. No doubt we'll be seeing a few more of those to come. 3 points the difference. Oh, that was some beautiful offense there by Leggy Bomb, opening up a massive gap. And Brewster stepped through it, and the Bay Rollers have now reclaimed the lead. What a game.
Oh, a ref again nearly gets taken out by a Derby girl.
Well, that doesn't count if they're nearly taken out. It's only funny when they do get taken out.
Yes, I've seen some good stacks over my time into refs.
That was Blackout Menace that dished out that hit on the outside. Kittie Miaow as well, adding to the defence. Gladstone doing a sterling job of arresting this power jam, but finally Pinky Bruista makes it through for another 5. But they are dragging the clock down. Every second's valuable now as we wait for Highland Fling to return to the track. Oh, look at that. Pinky Bruista starts calling off the jam, knowing that it doesn't end until the 4th whistle, and tries to get as many points as she can between the 1st and the 4th whistle of the referee blast.
Smash Dance just posted that she's too broke to come down, but she's enjoying watching the coverage. Smash Dance, you're that good of a skater, you could just skate down the highway.
Absolutely.
But we're happy to have you watching.
So Raven D-Range stepping up to the line now for the Bay Rollers. We've got a 4-3 pack advantage to Gladstone. Raven takes to the outside and claims lead jammer. So there's 7 points the difference right now. 16 minutes, 40 seconds left in the match. She's coming. Oh, KK Ruff N Stuff. She knew where Raven D-Range was heading. It was like a trap. She made this nice gap. Raven D-Range could do nothing except for head to the gap, and Ruff N Stuff shut her down. So some nice work there. Now we've got Slingshot Polkadot stepping up to the line, and Slayer Swift jamming for Gladstone. 121 points to Gladstone in the black, 130 points to the Bay Rollers in the red. 16 minutes left in the match.
I just read that Smash Dance isn't broke, she's broken.
I was going to say she must be broke and broken.
My bad. We'd prefer you broke than broken.
Yeah, I think Smash Dance is carrying a broken arm at the moment. Sorry to hear that, Smash Dance. But all the best Derby girls break their arm at some point and come back harder and fiercer and stronger.
A lot of love for Gladstone today.
Are there any Bay Rollers supporters out there?
There's got to be someone watching in Byron Bay going for the Bay Rollers.
I've got a lot of supporters here. There's a lot of red out there in the crowd today. And Slayer Swift busts through that pack checker. That score. Pow! Gladstone back in the lead. It is an epic game here. Pinky Bruista, BB Sting working together really nicely. But Slayer Swift gets another 5 points up there. Slayer hits the pack again, takes to the outside. Oh, shut down. Is that BB Sting? Whoever it was. I think it was BB Sting. Yes, it was. She copped a penalty. It's on her way to the sin bin. Now Gladstone are 11 points ahead of the Bay Rollers. Unbelievable. At one point they were just dozens and dozens of points behind. But in the last 5 minutes of the first half, and this half for sure, Gladstone have really come into their own.
I do believe Gladstone has done that before. Pull way from behind to actually take the league and win. So it must be something, they must have that fight in them that wants to win.
I think that might have something to do with fitness as well. Like this is the time, the last 15 minutes of the game, that's where your fitness really comes into it. Like, it's all well and good to come out guns a-blazing in the first 15 minutes or the first half, but you've got to keep that momentum for the entire game.
Gladstone's so fit that they're dancing on the track, so they can't be feeling it that much.
I reckon they're feeling it. I've seen some of those hits. But they're certainly eager to get back into this next jam, that's for sure. I know Manutz is pretty eager to have a crack at the title. And we've got Teddie, Zerky, Nick Rofilia, and Blackout Menace lined up hard up against the jammer line. And Tank U from the Bay Rollers, she's pretty eager to get back into it again as well. I was wondering why she's out there alone, but that's because the rest of her team's in the sin bin. Look at that sin bin. It's got 3 Bay Rollers, blockers, and the Bay Rollers jammer all in the bin. And Tank U's got to go it alone out there.
I'll tell you, whoever comes up against North Brisbane's going to have to bring their A game.
You got that right there, Joey. As we mentioned before, the winner of this game will be playing against Northern Brisbane tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Northern Brisbane are ranked the 3rd best team in the country. They're the second place. They got second place in last year's Tropicarnage. So it is going to be a tough challenge for whichever team progresses.
So don't sleep in tomorrow morning. Get up, turn on the computer. It's going to be exciting.
Packet moving quite a pace as it heads into turn 3. Oh, Teddie just jam a takedown there on Slingshot Polkadot. Blackout Menace decides to weigh in as well. Nick Rofilia trying to hold the inside line. So Duncan Manutz throws the dummy. So the winner of last year's Tropicarnage. I don't know if you caught that on... oh, yeah, there we go. One of the refs got taken down. He didn't get taken down. He's just standing there and fell over. Nothing draws.
I hate when that floor moves on you. Feel that tremble that causes a bit of an earthquake.
Now we've got our 2 old adversaries, Highland Fling for Gladstone in the black and Nikki Nitro jamming for the Bay Rollers in the red. Nikki Nitro has the lead right now.
These two will either be good friends or good enemies by the end of this bout.
Voodoo Vixen did a good job of holding her at bay, but was forced to yield eventually. So Nikki Nitro hitting the pack again for a scoring run. Spies an opening.
I see a lot of people out there enjoyed the ref going down. It must have made you laugh as well as us.
10 points the difference. 10 points. That could be... We could have a new leader by the end of the next game.
Pinky Bruista back out on the line there in the red. And Slayer Swift. Thanks again to Derby News Network. Feel free to contribute money to DNN as well. They've done so much to advance roller derby in Australia over the past few years. All the strategies all the teams have learned have often been copied off strategies they've seen in the States, all watched on the Derby News Network. So please, if you've got some coin, please contribute to DNN to keep the coverage coming.
I think we all learn when we're watching, don't we?
Absolutely. Hope you're learning how to be awesome commentators as well out there. Yes. And I was so busy talking myself up then I just didn't watch what happened in that jam. I heard the whistle go though, and look at that scoreboard. Gladstone 146, Bay 134. 12 points the difference. And 11 minutes left in the match. Nikki Nitro back in on the line. And she's lined up next to Duncan Manutz. I happen to know that Johnny Smash loves Duncan Manutz. Just go ask him. It's a 3-2 pack advantage for Bay. Kittie Miaow, Voodoo Vixen, our 2 defenders. But Nitro outstrips them both. And she's lead jammer. So Manutz bouncing back and forwards between the Bay Rollers and Nitro puts 4 points up there. So that closes the gap to 8 points.
Yes. Very nice work by Nitro.
And the unmistakable silhouette of Leggy Bomb stepping up to the crease, number 17 in the red for the Bay Rollers, and number 89 Slayer Swift in the black for Gladstone. As Gladstone have had to, must be a good 6-hour drive south from Gladstone to get here. The Bay Rollers from Byron Bay, a couple of hours south. So we've got people from all over Queensland and northern New South Wales joining us here for Tropicarnage 2013.
Leggy Bomb having a bit of time trying to get past the Gladstone. Oh, but she calls off. Sneaks past a few and calls off the jam.
Not before putting 3 points up there on the board. Closing that gap ever so slightly.
3 points are better than none.
Absolutely. 5 points the difference.
Every point matters now.
Bay Rollers, if there's one thing they've got to do, is they've got to keep their jammer out of that sin bin. Both teams have got to do that, let's be honest. But the Gladstone team have been playing a really clean game. And that's reflecting in the score over this second half. Oh, Blackout. Oh, yeah. That was a massive hit there. Blackout Menace. Jeez. Packers moving quite quickly now. Menace hits for a scoring run. Tank U, Raven, D-Range. And Alabasha. Menace managed to sneak 1 point up there on the board and call off the jam.
I think it's clear why they call her Nitro.
Absolutely.
She hits that button and she goes.
Yep, she can certainly crack up a blistering pace around the track, that's for damn sure.
Pinky Bruista. Jamming for the Bay Rollers.
And Manutz jamming for Gladstone. We've got a clean sin bin. That's a pleasant change. Pinky Bruista held on the outside. Now I think that was Zerky. It's a bit hard to see in the midst of the carnage. So neither jammer has completed their initial run yet. Look at the strength at the front of that pack. Pinky Bruista, oh, is that KK Ruff N Stuff doing what she does best, shutting Bruista down on the inside line. Oh, and again, Blackout Menace. Oh, just brilliant work. And Duncan Manutz able to capitalise on that beautiful Gladstone defence and finally completes her initial pass. Geez, neither team making it easy. So now Manutz trying to find an opening there. You don't look for obstacles, you look for opportunities. But there was an obstacle there, and that was Leggy Bomb. Was Leggy Bomb wearing a stack hat? Gee, that takes me back.
The good old days.
Okay. So Bruista is clear of the pack. Manutz blocked out of bounds. Gee, both teams. Defense in that jam was incredible. And it looks like Gladstone are calling a timeout. So yeah, next up, Joey, we have the Reef City Roller Girls from Cairns, the team that's travelled the furthest to be here. Very grateful to Reef City for, I know it must be a real mission to raise the money, get the time off work and everything to be here, so we're very grateful to you, Reef City, for making the trip. And they will be going against Gold Coast Roller Derby. Really all they need to do is just drive for about an hour to get here, so still, we're still happy you came. Oh, hang on. Video Bob sneakily filming the commentators. That's Raspberry Bullet there and Johnny Smash Afaria there in the background. Both of them looking the part. Both two experienced Tropicarnage announcers. I've announced dozens of games with those two. It's great to have them on board. This is where all the action happens up here in the commentary box.
Oh, we got Carlos the Jackal. Oh, there's HP. Carlos actually got a name tag, and it didn't say Carlos the Jackal. It said Carol the Jackal. Yes. So he was a bit shocked about that. So if you see him sing Sweet Caroline to him, I'm sure you'll love that.
Hang on, there's a huge posse of skaters out in the middle there right now. I'm very much hoping that Harry Spotter will come and explain everything that's going on. Because let's be honest, at this point in the game, a rules nerd can win the game for you. If a rules lawyer can just get you a couple of points, you make sure they do that. There's only 9 points in this game. It's not only a matter of winning out on the track, it's a matter of making sure that your bench managers are watching to make sure the refs are doing their job correctly.
The refs are going to go away and have a private discussion.
Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in, and especially to all the guys typing stuff on there. We're doing our best to try, and I end up sitting there reading the stuff you write, and then I look up and I've missed the entire jam.
I love reading what they write. I love the live chat.
So what's the score? The score should be hopefully appearing on the screen there. It's definitely 141 to the Bay Rollers in the red, the 150 to Gladstone in the black. We've got 6 minutes 40 seconds left in this match before following straight on its heels will be Reef City versus Gold Coast. And the winner of this game will be going forward to play Northern Brisbane Rollers tomorrow at 9 o'clock Queensland time. This is getting warm here too, let me tell you.
I'm not sure if it's us or the Derby. Getting excited up here.
Maybe that's all it is. It's just the fever.
Derby fever.
We've got 12 of us announcers this weekend. And we're trying to do as much as we can to make it fun for all you watchers at home. We're just trying to get every half time we'll try and get some interviews. Raspberry Bullet doing an absolutely sterling job of handling the interviews. I'm going to try and keep getting her to do that. And we'll just try and get a good snapshot of all the Derby community and all the people that pitch in to make it work. Highland Fling jamming for Gladstone, and Nikki Nitro jamming for Bay. So Nikki Nitro taking it down the outside. She's got the speed. Oh yeah, there we go. Teddie, another massive hit. Blocks her out of bounds. Oh, but she copped a penalty as well. And while Nitro's trapped at the back of the pack by Kittie Miaow, Highland Fling was able to complete her initial pass, and now she's hit the pack again for a scoring run, shoving her own way out of the way because she doesn't have any of her team to support her. But Raven Derange and Bell Lashing's work together to shut her down.
Give a love tap there.
That was some nice work there. Bell Lashings just came out of nowhere and just cracked her one.
A lot of love for Teddie. She's proven herself.
She certainly has again and again this match. Gee, she dishes out some huge hits.
I wouldn't want to be going up against her.
I'd be needing 6 strong pallbearers after a hit from Teddie, let me tell you.
I'm sure I'd end up on the other side of the track.
Look at the pack. There's only one blocker from each team out there. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. One jammer from each team and one blocker from each team. Oh man, the poor refs are having a hard time making sense of this. But there we have it, a 5-point pass by Slingshot Polkadot. Meantime, Manutz struggling to get through. Hang on. Check out that scoreboard, Bay Rollers. 151 to 153. Manutz is through the pack. But here comes another scoring run for the Bay Rollers. Beautiful work. Slingshot Polkadot. 2 points, and the game is a tie. Oh, this has definitely been the best game we've seen so far for Tropicarnage. 153 points apiece. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in this match.
Oh no, I'm on the edge of my seat for this one. I get a bit speechless watching it.
Oh, that's the worst curse of an announcer. Slayer Swift, Nikki Nitro. A lot of alliteration in our derby names there for our two jammers. So again, Nitro takes on the outside, down the middle, down the inside, and Nitro is our lead jammer. Leggy Bomb, the last defender. Nitro in the guts of the pack for a scoring run. Slayer Swift has completed her initial pass. Nitro puts 4 points up there, and the Bay Rollers are back on top again.
You can see Reef City over there in the far corner, getting ready, watching. They're excited about this bout too.
That's true, they are. You can see it in the top right of your screen there, the Reef City Rollers all lined up. Everyone is loving this match. 4 points the difference, 3 minutes left in the match. Gladstone in black, Bay Rollers in red, Highland Fling, Slingshot Polkadot stepping up to the crease.
I can't see a person not watching. I think everyone's came out to watch this bout.
It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, there we go. That's Teddie again, holding the inside line, but Polkadot somehow found her way through.
On one skate too.
So she sees Teddie on the inside, decides to take to the outside instead, wisely. And Polkadot. Oh, hang on. 2 points apiece there, it looks like.
Smash Dance is holding her breath. Don't hold it too long.
Well, can you hold it for 2 minutes, 20 seconds, Smash Dance?
Ready, start now.
Nikki Nitro back out on the line again. Flanked by Raven D. Range and Pinky Bruista. And there's been a timeout called. I'm not sure if it's an official. No, it's a team timeout.
Gladstone are going to have a talk about it. See what they could do to win this one.
So yeah, keep in mind now, Gladstone have used all 3 timeouts as well. So if it comes down to 30 seconds left and they're behind, they won't have a timeout free to squeeze another jam in. So they're in a bit of a dangerous situation here.
Suddenly all these Bay Rollers have shown up supporters. There was nothing at the start of the bout. Now there's a fair few around the track.
Maybe they were all watching it online and thought this is too good. I've got to get down to the Moray Field Leisure Centre. Manutz, just where she likes it, on the jammer line. Nitro up alongside her. We have a 4-2 pack advantage to Gladstone. Pinky Bruista and Raven D. Range are our only 2 Bay blockers. But hang on now. That timeout's been turned into an official.
Nikki Nitro looks ready to go.
She sure does.
I think they're both very itchy.
Duncan Manutz definitely has the advantage this jam.
Not the easiest to see that green on black from up here, is it?
Yeah, it is a bit tough. You're right, Joey. If you live anywhere in the Brisbane area, we're going to be here all day tomorrow from 9 till 9. We'll be here till 9 tonight until 5 o'clock on Monday. And if you can only make one game, we're going to have Blokes Derby on Monday as well, I think at 11. And the third place final at 1. And the Tropicarnage 2013 Grand Final at 3 o'clock on Monday. And that is one game you do not want to miss. The last 2 years have been both between Northern Brisbane Rollers and Sunstate Roller Girls, and they have been absolutely amazing.
I can still remember last year, it was the crowd were on their feet. I don't think there was one quiet person in the whole arena.
It was just brought tears to your eyes. Just the passion and the skill and the strength of those women, just incredible. And this is pretty much the high point, the focal point of the year for Queensland Derby. It's the Tropicarnage Cup.
That's right, that's what they train for, that's what they put the blood, sweat and tears in for. They all come here to win, they all want that cup.
And although we do keep saying Queensland Roller Derby, we do have 2 New South Wales teams, one of them out on the track right now, the Bay Rollers, and also the Northern Rivers Roller Derby from Lismore. So forgive me for forgetting to include your two leagues whenever I say Queensland. It's just too much of a mouthful otherwise.
Queensland and Northern New South Wales.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I should start saying that. So I'm sorry we couldn't tell you what was going on out there with the refs. We were supposed to have a ref announcer, but I'm going to have to go and hit up someone about that. But we've got 2 minutes, 21 seconds left in the match. Nikki Nitro jamming for the Bay Rollers in the red. Duncan Manutz for Gladstone in the black. 4 points the difference. Gladstone 4 points behind. And there's only 2 blockers out there. Nikki Nitro weighs in and blocks Manutz out of bound. Manutz gets shut down. Nitro gets blocked out of bounds. But they've both recovered and they're both back into the thick of it. Hang on, Nitro copped a track cut. I thought it might have been. That is not good news for the Bay Rollers. Manutz busts out of that pack. She is lead jammer.
I think we have a lot of excited viewers yelling at their screens right now.
There's a lot of yelling in the stadium right now. Look at that. Gladstone have taken to the lead, 160 to 159. Manutz screams around the pack. Slammed into by Tank U. Bruista waiting to play a supporting role there. And Manutz gets another 5 up there. A minute, 20 seconds left on the period clock. She swoops around the pack again. Tank U arrests her momentum.
Leggy Bomb joining the track. She's going to want to help out her teammates.
So she joins that defensive wall. Oh, nice. Brewster slows her down and Tank U dishes out a hit right to the sternum. Oh, that's some beautiful defense by the Bay Rollers. Manutz forced out of bounds. And Manutz calls off the jam. 6 points the difference. We may be looking at the final jam. Hang on. Tweed called a timeout. So it's very likely this will be the final jam of the match. 6 points the difference. 159 points. The Bay Rollers in the red. 165 to Gladstone in the black. Let's see if they've got some secret play we're going to see in the final jam. We can hear the in-house announcers doing shout-outs to the crowd. Oh, there's heaps of fans from Gladstone and
sounds pretty well
from
matched.
Bay. It does sound pretty even out there. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is very likely going to be the last jam of the match. Every time I say that, though, they prove me wrong. But
someone calls it off early and makes a liar out of you.
I'd be surprised. Neither has a timeout. So if there's less than 30 seconds left on the clock at the end of this jam, it will be game over. Slayer Swift stepping up to the line. And, of course, Nikki... is that Nikki Nitro in the sin bin for...
Yeah, I can't see from here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Nitro in the sin bin for the Bay Rollers.
I cannot see her in the sitting, so...
Oh, hang on. Nitro. Nitro has been fouled out of the game, has she? No.
No, they're just swapping. Is that right?
No, she has to leave. Yeah, look at that. Nitro has been fouled out of the game. 7 penalties. Back to the sheds for Nikki Nitro. So now that means Pinky Bruista now is going to serve her time in the sin bin. And Slayer Swift is stepping up to the jammer line unopposed.
Nitro's still got to be happy with the way she plays.
Yeah, and she's been called on a lot this game. So it's only fair that she would cop a heap of penalties along the way. Nice defense there by Tank U. And Slingshot Polkadot slowing her down for a good 15 seconds there. And that's all she needed to do. Slayer Swift claimed lead jammer, called off the jam. Neither team has a timeout left available. Very clever play there by Gladstone. But we'll just wait till the period clock times down unless something funny happens that I'm not quite aware of.
I think you might be safe.
I think I am.
I think everyone's counting it down.
3, 2, 1, 0.
That's it.
That's the game, Derby fans. Now, the one last thing, our head ref just checks with the scorekeepers. to make sure there have been no mistakes there. So let's say Smash Dance, keep holding your breath because we haven't got a final score up there on the board just yet.
Let's hope she's not passed out.
But that was some classy play there by Gladstone. That was all they needed to do. Get lead jammer, wait for the clock to get below 30 seconds, fall off the jam. So let's just wait. We're not quite there yet. The crowd's coming out. I think everyone pretty much reckons that Gladstone has it, and so do I. But I don't want to go and tell you that that's what's happened until the official score appears up there on the scoreboard. And I can see some nodding going on.
Oh, we're going to get some coverage down on the track.
Oh, that's right. Video Bob's going to head down and get some coverage. And that... Now, hang on. We're there, ladies and gentlemen. That is our official score. The Bay Rollers 159. Gladstone 165.
Thank you so much for joining us and watching this amazing bout. I'm sure you enjoyed it just as much as we did.
It was an absolutely brilliant game. Here they come.
Everyone wants to get on the track to show their respect to both teams.
That's right. The entire stadium's out at the moment, ready to high five the Gladstone team.
I don't think our arms are long enough for that, but
true. That's it. The Gladstone PCYC Roller Derby. The Hustlers absolutely smash it. Played a strong, clean game and came away with the victory. They will be going up against the epic force that is the Northern Brisbane Rollers at 9 o'clock tomorrow. And that will be the toughest challenge that Gladstone has ever faced. But I'm sure they're up to the task. And here come the Bay Rollers heading around as well. Gee, they played an awesome game as well.
Great footage here. The coverage is amazing, getting down the track and being able to see the girls.
That's right. There's that's the coverage you're seeing now is Video Bob actually with his phone. So I know it's a bit blocky, but you know the thought's there.
It's better than nothing.
Geez, they're looking good.
You see how excited they are on screen.
But next up, in not too long at all, we will be having the Reef City Roller Girls from Cairns going up against Gold Coast.
Yes, I'm going to have to put down this mic and pick up another one.
Absolutely. My name's Honest Dave. I'm here with Joey Scar, and we have been broadcasting the Tropicarnage Cup 2013 live on the Derby News Network.